Water pollution in India. What's happening? Hi, my name's Rishita. Today I'm going to talk about water pollution. From my personal experience, I know how serious this is. Most people think of India as a beautiful and diverse country, rich with culture and heritage, full of festivals and spicy food. That's all true, but I'm here to talk about the other side of the picture. There are many environmental issues in India, but I'm going to discuss about water pollution, the main problem I face every time I visit India. Water pollution is a serious problem in India, as nearly 70% of its surface water resources and a large amount of its groundwater reserves are contaminated by many different types of pollutants, such as biological, toxic, organic and inorganic pollutants. While accessing drinking water continues to be a problem, making sure it is safe is a challenge by itself. Water quality problems are caused by pollution and overuse. The rapid pace of industrialization and priority of agricultural growth are the major sources of generating waste and water pollution. Financial and technological restrictions and lack of strict rules and regulations have worsened the situation. 5 major causes of water pollution in India. 1. Urbanization. 2. Industries. 3. Agricultural runoff and improper agricultural practices. 4. Withdrawal of water. 5. Religious and social practices. Factors affecting river water. Size. Large rivers are generally in poorer health conditions than smaller rivers. Location. Rivers near coast areas have generally better than average health conditions. Population. More population puts extra pressure on rivers. Agriculture. River health has a negative correlation with intensity of agriculture. Urbanization. In urban areas, water is tapped for domestic and industrial use from rivers, streams, lakes, ponds, etc. Nearly 80% of the water supplied for domestic use ends up as wastewater. Most of the time, this wastewater is let out untreated and causes a large scale of pollution of the surface water. About 70% of the population of Class 1 cities is provided with sewage facility. The Ganga River Basin contributes about 1/3 of the total wastewater of India. As you can see here, major cities like Varanasi, the top picture, in northern India depend extremely on the river Ganga. The picture below is the State Bank of India in Kolkata, with the Ganga River running next to it. The picture looks perfect, but the next slide shows a different story. Industries. Most Indian rivers and other sources of fresh water are polluted by industrial waste. All these industrial wastes are toxic to life forms that consume this water. Engineering industries are the second largest generator of wastewater in terms of volume. Some other contributors of wastewater are paper mills, steel plants, textile and sugar industries. See? Look how horrible the landscape looks. Here you can see some terrible images of water pollution caused by industries. Agricultural runoff and improper agricultural practices. Traces of fertilizers and pesticides are wasted into the nearest water bodies whenever there are monsoons or heavy showers. Farmers often use excess fertilizers and pesticides. When these are used more than the recommended doses, they pollute water, land and air. Picture number 6 is an image of 3 machines harvesting crops in India. But as you can see in picture number 7, agricultural runoff and improper agricultural practices can cause chemically polluted water. Religious and social practices. Religious and social practices also add to the pollution of the river waters. Offerings from religious practices are often immersed in a river. It is common to see people immersing offerings in a plastic bag. Plastic bags are very dangerous and further add to the pollution load of the river. This is a kind of sentimental issue which is hard to control. Picture number 8 is an immersing of an idol after a Hindu festival. Picture 9 shows millions of people gathering around the banks of the river for a religious festival. Picture number 10. Even Prince Charles has been encouraged to worship the bank of the river Ganga in Varanasi. Withdrawal of water. Indian rivers have plenty of water in their upper course. They are, however, starved of water when they enter the plain area. Water supply in canals whisk away clean water soon after the rivers reach the plains, denying water to flow in the river downstream. The river turned drain flow downstream with little or no fresh water. Picture 11 and 12 show how the river Ganges looks at its source. Picture number 13 shows how the Ganges looks like after the Manaripalli ore dam. Solutions. Although India has made improvements over the past decades to both the availability and quality of municipal drinking water systems, its large population has stressed water resources and rural areas are left out. The World Bank has approved $1 billion as credit and loan to support India's effort to clean up the river Ganges. The top picture shows a scientist collecting water samples for testing. The bottom picture shows scientists examining water samples and the place of collection. Regardless of many improvements to drinking water, many other water sources are contaminated with both bio and chemical pollutants. There is a widespread natural occurrence of arsenic and fluoride in the groundwater. UNICEF is supporting the Government of India on reducing arsenic and fluoride pollution by identifying water quality testing technologies which are appropriate for use in field situations. UNICEF supports the Government of India in developing a range of programs and solutions for sanitation, hygiene and water supply. They support a program in India to provide adequate safe drinking water to every rural household in India. Facts. India has 16% of the world's population and only 4% of its freshwater resources. It is estimated around 37.7 million Indians are affected by waterborne diseases annually. About 1.5 million children die of diarrhea alone, and 73 million working days are lost due to diseases each year. 92% groundwater is used in the agricultural sector, 5% for the industrial, and 3% in the domestic sector. 89% of the surface water used is for the agricultural sector, 2% for the industrial and 9% for the domestic sector. This image shows the many ways water can be polluted in India. Facts. 88% of the population of 1.2 billion has access to safe drinking water from improved sources in 2008. Only a quarter of the total population in India has drinking water on their premises. 67% of Indian households do not treat their drinking water, even though it could be chemically or bacterially contaminated. Picture number 19 shows that in some parts of rural India, people have to travel long distances to the nearest clean water source. It is not uncommon. Facts. While traditional diseases such as diarrhea continue to take a heavy toll, 66 million Indians are at risk due to excess fluoride and 10 million due to excess arsenic in groundwater. According to latest estimates, 94% of the rural population and 91% of the people living in urban areas have access to safe drinking water. Data shows that of the 1.42 million rural houses in the country, 1.27 million are fully covered, 0.13 million are partially covered, and 15,917 are not covered. It is expected that around 2020, India will be a water-stressed state. A country is said to be water-stressed when the per capita availability of water drops to below 1,700 cubic meters per person per year. The landscape can be a green filter, filtering pollution as the rainwater slowly sinks into the ground, or a grey funnel, allowing pollution and toxins to be washed into our waterways. Recent work and updates. The project will help set up a state-of-the-art Ganga Knowledge Centre to encourage cleaning up and the conservation of the Ganges. The Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, called 5 chief ministers as the Ganges runs through 5 different states. 2,040 crores have been given to India from the World Bank to help clean up the Ganges. 1 crore is the same as 10 million rupees. The framework of water pollution control in India. Legislation. Water, Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1974, Environment Protection Act 1986, International Best Practices. Policy, National Water Policy 2002, National Environment Policy 2006. Programs, National River Conservation Plan, National Lake Conservation Plan, Jawaharlal Nehru National Urban Renewal Mission. References. Here is a list of references, both for my information and my images.